What is the sound of a dream? Is it the gentle whisper of a promise? Or is it this industrial, unfeeling, mechanical roar? For centuries, rulers and governments have performed a kind of magic. They take paper, ink, and a simple, profound idea that this object in your hand has value. They print a dream onto it, a dream of security, of power, of a future guaranteed. They tell you to believe in it, to build your life upon it. And for a while, we all do. We trade our time, our labor, our very lives for these beautifully decorated pieces of paper. But what happens when the dream fades? What happens when the ink runs and the paper-thin promise is revealed for what it is? This is the story of money, not of coins and banknotes, but of faith. It is the most dangerous and powerful story ever told. It begins quietly, in the heart of a society, a shared need for something more than barter, a collective agreement. Imagine a marketplace centuries ago, the smell of spices and livestock, the din of 100 different transactions. A farmer with wheat needs a blacksmith's plow. The blacksmith, his belly full, needs clothes for the winter. The complexity is staggering. And so a solution emerges, a token, something durable, rare, and universally desired, a gleaming gold coin perhaps. Its value isn't in the stamp upon it, but in the weight, the substance, the tangible reality of the metal itself. It is a simple, honest contract. This is worth this because we can all see and feel that it is. But then the custodians of society, the kings and the emperors, saw a deeper truth. The real value wasn't in the gold. It was in the trust. It was in the collective dream, and so they began the great alchemy. They started issuing paper, a banknote, a piece of parchment that was in itself worthless. But it carried a spellbinding phrase, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand." This note was a placeholder, a ghost of the real gold sitting in a vault. And it worked. It was lighter, more convenient. The dream was more efficient. People forgot about the gold in the vault. They began to trust the paper itself. The symbol had become the substance. This was the first fateful step, the decoupling of money from anything real. The state had learned that it could, quite literally, print confidence. It could fund its ambitions, its wars, its monuments, its grandeur, not by the painful, slow accumulation of real wealth, but by the swift, silent operation of the printing press. It was a seductive power, a power to create something from nothing, to materialize armies and fleets out of thin air and ink. The dream was no longer just a medium of exchange. It had become a tool of power. A nation's strength was now, in part, measured by its ability to make others believe in its dreams.
And then came the final, breathtaking act of faith. The gold backing vanished. The promise was revoked. The note in your hand no longer promised a piece of a glittering hoard. It only promised another, identical note. The dream was now free-floating, untethered from any physical reality. Its value was determined solely by the word of the government that issued it, and the collective, fragile faith of millions who used it. This is the world we live in now, a world of fiat money. A Latin word meaning, "let it be so." It is money because the state decrees it is money. It is the ultimate act of collective dreaming. This is where the story turns. For this power, this godlike ability to create value with a decree, is a temptation too great for any nation to resist forever. When ambition outstrips means, when a war must be funded, when an economy must be artificially revived, the solution is always there, humming in the basement of the central bank. The printing presses are awakened. They start the relentless, rhythmic dance. At first, the effect is miraculous. Money flows, factories hum, jobs are created, soldiers are paid. The economy is flooded with this new, easy confidence. It feels like a renaissance. The dream has never been more vivid, more potent. But there is a fundamental law, as unyielding as gravity, that cannot be broken. You cannot create real wealth by printing its symbol. You are only creating more claims on the same amount of real goods: the food, the oil, the timber, the labor. Slowly, insidiously, the dream begins to curdle. The first signs are subtle. The price of bread creeps up, then the price of coal, then of everything. This is the ancient specter, inflation. It is the invisible tax, the silent thief in the night. The money in your pocket, the money you saved for a lifetime, is slowly being emptied of its meaning. The dream is being diluted. The government printed more dreams, but the number of tangible things those dreams can buy has not changed. Each individual dream, each unit of currency, becomes weaker, less potent. The slow creep becomes a gallop. The trust that held the entire system together begins to fracture. People rush to spend their money before it becomes worthless. This panic only fuels the fire. The value of the currency plummets. We have seen the ghost of this nightmare in history. Wheelbarrows of cash to buy a loaf of bread, life savings evaporating between breakfast and dinner. This is the final, terrifying stage: hyperinflation. It is not just an economic event. It is a social and psychological catastrophe. It is the sound of a society's faith shattering. The printed dream has become a collective nightmare. So, where does this leave us? This delicate, terrifying system built on a shared hallucination. The resolution is not a simple one. There is no returning to the gold standard, no perfect solution. The genie of fiat money cannot be put back in the bottle. The power to print dreams is now the fundamental machinery of the modern global economy. It is a necessary tool, but a weapon of mass destruction if left unchecked.
The true resolution, then, lies in the wisdom and the restraint of the dreamweavers. It lies in independent institutions that can say no to the politicians. It lies in a populace that understands the fragile nature of the paper in their wallets. The value of our money is a reflection of our collective confidence in the future. It is a barometer of our trust in the institutions that govern us. When that trust is maintained, when the printing of money is disciplined and for the right reasons, the dream holds. It can fuel incredible innovation, lift nations from poverty, and build a better world. But when that trust is abused, when the presses run to feed short-term greed or unchecked power, the dream inevitably turns to dust. We are all citizens of this dream. We trade in it. We save in it. We build our futures upon it. The paper in your wallet is a blank slate upon which a nation has printed its highest aspirations and its deepest fears. It is a contract signed not with a signature, but with faith. A faith that the tomorrow we are working for will be there when we arrive. So the next time you hold a banknote in your hand, look past the portraits of dead presidents and the intricate seals. See it for what it truly is: a shared dream. A beautiful, powerful, and perilous dream. Handle it with care, for the fate of nations is printed on its face.